folks. Good morning to you, wherever you're listening from, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, wherever that is. Welcome to our quick morning business paper review with me, Kalu Aja. I'm trying to set you up for your week, tell you what's happening so you can make informed economic decisions. So real quick, let's start with this alert from the U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Nigeria, specifically in Abuja. So they are advising by way of emergency to American citizens in Nigeria to be aware of an elevated risk of terror attacks in Nigeria, specifically in Abuja. Target would include, but not limited to, government buildings, places of worship, schools, markets, malls, hotels, bars, restaurants, gatherings, law enforcement facilities, and international organizations. So just be on alert, avoid crowds, avoid all non-essential travel or movements. Just an alert for us there, just to keep in the back of our mind, right? Let's get down to the business papers. Let's start with this story from Moody's. So Moody's is a rating agency. So what rating agencies do is they rate securities, bonds. They also rate governments and issues by the government, right? So Moody's is one of the major rating agencies in the world, and the headline is from Moody's themselves. They've downgraded Nigeria's rating from a B3. It's now a B3. It used to be a B2. What is the difference? Not really any difference. Both of those are what we call non-investment grade ratings. So Moody's starts all the way from AAA to then you have your A1, A2, you get your BAA and all that before you get to the BAs, B1s and the B2s. Lots of Bs, right? But just what you have to know is that we were on B2, which was already a non-investment grade rating, and we've been taken down a notch to B3. So what it means is if Nigeria was going to issue a bond, we would have to pay more in interest because we are, quote unquote, very risky. This is what you call a junk bond. That's why you have Nigerian bonds having higher yields, right? If the US issued a bond, because they are AAA, they would offer a lower yield. But if Nigeria did the same bond, because we have a lower rating, would have to offer a higher yield. So why has Moody's decided to downgrade our bonds? Their headline says there's a significant deterioration in the fiscal and external position despite higher oil prices. So in English, oil prices have gone up, but Nigeria's macroeconomic position has deteriorated. They list a 32% drop in oil production. So oil that gives us the income is down. Then the list also confirmed that Nigeria's share of interest, so Nigeria's share of revenues that are consumed by interest payment, they say it's already high at 65% and it's expected to rise higher. And they also talk about the central bank's foreign reserves have gone down by 3 billion this year, and they're about 37 billion. So in essence, they're saying oil has gone up and they don't see how Nigeria is going to pay back because the bulk of our revenues go to interest payments. The central bank has not really got a lot of ammunition in terms of foreign reserves because their reserves are falling. Hence, they believe there's an escalated risk of Nigeria not paying. Hence, they are doing that downgrade. They've also put us on notice that they're also going to review this rating, and if it gets worse, they will do a further downgrade. So not good news because this is what goes around the world. So if you log into Bloomberg and you want to buy a Nigerian bond, you're going to see this rating right there. It just means that we'd have to borrow a lot more. And it's just not a sign of confidence that the international community has on Nigeria. So not very good there. But I mean, nothing we've said in that rating is a surprise to everyone. I think this is just the formality of making it like hey, you guys are not doing a good job. Turn around and do a good job, and probably will give you guys a higher rating. So we have the review coming up. Let's keep our fingers crossed. The next headline is here: the federal government subsidy spending to hit 11 trillion in 2023. This is from the Punch. The story is the same. They're saying, give or take, we've already spent 6.88 trillion. So we've already spent 6.88 trillion, and that for this year, we are on tune to hit. So for next year, we're going to hit about 11 trillion based on this report. Let's see. I mean, the figures just keep on going up. In 2015, we spent 216 billion, right? In 2016, we just spent 99 billion. Then it went back up to 141 billion in 2017. Then in 2018, 722 billion. What happened from 2017 to 2018? By 2017, we only spent 141 billion. But by 2018, it had gone up to about 722 billion. 2019, 578 billion. And 2020, about 134 billion. This reflects, of course, the price of crude oil. So if crude oil goes up, the subsidy payments also go up because we are importing the PMS, which is, of course, based or derived from crude oil. So that's where you have this wide variations. Not that demand rises or falls, but the price of crude oil is essentially going up. NNPC's report is saying that as at 2021, we had spent about 1.43 trillion already. And that from January to August this year, just January to August, we've spent about 2.56 trillion. So that's what we spent on subsidy. I mean, what I'll just say is imagine what 2.56 trillion could have done to the Nigerian economy if we had taken that money and invested in ASU or education, healthcare, roads, even paid back our debt. Imagine if we took this money and we paid back our principal. So I get the argument. We say this all the time, every day. We get the argument that, yes, if you make fuel expensive, people are going to suffer. But if you also pay this subsidy, people also suffer because the opportunity cost of this fuel subsidy is not really the cost of this subsidy, but the cost of not having roads and hospitals and all of that. So the cost of you having cheap fuel is you not having infrastructure and the insecurity we see. So not good. Is the same story we hear all the time with the fuel subsidy payments, and you just wonder who is going to have the balls, should we say, to take it off. Tinubu's economic plan says he's going to take it off. He did not say when. So let's see what's going to happen with that. But it's the same story that says fuel subsidy is, the figures are just this year alone, 2.56 trillion. So not good whatsoever. Now let's go to this headline. It's from the Sun, and the Sun is saying that the federal government and the stakeholders want to audit the PMS consumption figures. Very, very convenient, don't you think so? I mean, we spent 7 years debating if the consumption we have locally of PMS is really what NNPC says it is. The customs, what's his title now? The Comptroller of Customs has said it's false to the tune of almost 20 million liters. He said it's false reporting, that the NNPC cannot track what they're bringing in, and we're paying for subsidy from what the ships record that has come in. But that stuff comes in and it leaves Nigerian borders. So essentially, we're subsidizing West Africa and not Nigeria. That's what the NNPC Comptroller General said, and I agree with him completely. I think a better model is to pay the subsidy at the pumps in Nigeria. Use a combination of NIN-enabled phone, BVN, to an e-Naira. So you tag your car to your phone, and you convert your Naira to e-Naira, and if you pay that way, you pay a subsidized price at the pump. If we did it that way, it will cut out the folks getting the subsidies outside Nigeria because they don't have an NIN phone, nor can they get e-Naira. So that would reduce the corruption a lot. There are many ways we can drop that expenditure, but they want to audit this 7 months, so 7 years into after paying that. So, hey, go for it. Let's hope that that audit will reduce the cost as well. All right, guys, I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but the cable is reporting that the NCC is going to issue 2 more 5G licenses. They are reserving the price for about 273 million each for those licenses. If you recall, guys, the NCC also did an auction last year for 5G, and MTN and a local company called Mafab won those licenses. MTN has started their 5th generation networks in the country, but Mafab has requested for an extension till December, which was granted to them. So now the NCC says they are going to sell 2 new licenses. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but it just means more money for Nigeria and, of course, more competition. So we like that. We like that. I mean, if it comes in, good. Other news, guys, are just basic news. China has finished their the one that concerns us, right? China has concluded their Congress. President Xi is going to remain in power for 5 more years. Their GDP report came out. It was positive, bigger than expected. So oil prices have been shaky because of China. Maybe China was going to go into recession and all. But now it looks like it's going to stabilize a bit, which is good news for Nigeria. We want the oil prices a bit higher, right? Even though we do pay subsidies, we do get those revenues when oil prices are higher. So that's really it for us. All right, guys, not a lot in the papers today. It's a slow work day. Just to close out by saying that, I don't know if you guys have heard that UAE, Dubai, did restrict all Nigerian visas. So if you were trying to go to Dubai to do anything, it's going to get a lot tougher for you. I don't know the reason why. I think they've been doing this back off and on, but now I think it's all visas issued from Nigeria or on a Nigerian passport is now restricted from entering the country of the United Arab Emirates. Let's see how that plays out. All right, guys, let me see if we have any guy that wants to speak. I got Tinubu here that wants to speak. We've got about 10 minutes. Mr. Tinubu, how are you doing, sir? Okay, he's gone off. All right, guys, so we're going to shut it down. I don't see any other person requesting to speak. I do hope you guys do enjoy the rest of the week as it pans out for you. It looks like it's going to be a good one, right? I just have a positive vibe about this week. That might going to just be a good one. Keep your heads low. Just our condolences to all those that have lost lives and properties with the flood that is happening. Go out of your way and see how you can help people that have lost stuff in the floods. Cash donations are always best, right? If your church or your place of worship is doing something for the guys that are in the floods, do try to contribute. If they're not, please make them contribute. Help out. It's been a devastating flood, and the government really isn't doing much about it. So whatever you do would be a big help. All right, guys, on that note, I'll let you guys go. Do enjoy your week, and I'll see you guys or you folks same time if we're going to have news tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Saturday. Have a good one, and bye.